What is going on, MBL Network? And we're back. That's right. It's the first of the month. Wake up. Wake up. It's the first of the month. Lipp. It's NBA Finals time, too, so we're going to have to get your pick on that. We got a big show today. It's episode number 19, Commissioner's Corner podcast. We also have, we're going to be talking Director's Cut, which is coming out tomorrow. I'll promo that just a little bit. We got Chiefs, Jets versus Bills rivalry, downfall of the Bears. We're talking toughest division. And then we have a 3-and-out game show with a special guest. Y'all might already know who that is. He actually was featured on our Twitter. That's Mr. Chunky, the owner of the San Diego Chargers, doing work in San Diego. Lipp, first I want to get your NBA Finals prediction for tonight's game and for the series. And I hope you know the two teams that are playing.
Well, I mean, I think it's the same as the last 2 years. Isn't it Warriors-Cavs as always?
Warriors-Cavs as always. So the NBA history goes back just 2 seasons for you then, huh? Because you're forgetting about my Spurs if that's the case. No. It should go back at least 20, and we count my Spurs 5 championships.
Nah, Fry told me those don't exist.
All right. So who you going with? Who you picking? Let's just get that out the way since it's coming on in a couple hours.
Let's go with Warriors. I don't know basketball, so
how many games? This is gonna be funny.
Hopefully
4 games. So that's a sweep. So you're saying they're going to win in 4?
The Penguins are about to go 4 in the Cup, so...
We cannot talking hockey, man.
We're talking hockey, baby.
It almost bankrupted like 15 years ago. It's still not significant in my mind yet. But good luck to all teams participating in, I guess, that hockey league. But tonight, NBA Finals, I'm taking Golden State Warriors in 6. Let me know your thoughts in the chat. If you disagree with me, that's a bad way to start off this podcast. I will shame you the rest of the show, and if I'm right, it only gets worse. But first... we're going to talk 2-minute drill with Lipp. We always do this at the beginning of the show, Lipp. This is going to be a little bit of a division championship edition / playoff edition. Are you ready for the 2-minute drill with Lipp?
Absolutely. Let's get done.
All right. Question number 1. He has 5 questions to answer this in 2 minutes. Which player is most likely to make the MBL Players Hall of Fame for this Madden 17 cycle?
I'm going with a guy that may not be as talked about so much. I'm going with New York Giants running back with Darius Purnell. Depending on how he finishes this season and how he finishes this Madden cycle next season, he could be a Hall of Famer because he is always consistent, doing great things there for the Giants.
AFC wild card. We got the Houston Texans 7-3, Oakland Raiders 8-3, but on the bubble right now, you got the Cincinnati Bengals 7-4, Jaguars 7-4, and then kind of outside the bubble, you got the Ravens. Who makes it in? Who doesn't make it in? Why?
Actually, I think the way it's set up right now is how it's going to be. I think the Texans will get in, the Raiders will get in, and the Bengals will be on the out. I think that they finish 8-8. That might be a game or 2 back behind playoff eligibility, so Bengals out for sure.
How good are these Tennessee Titans? Are they the real deal? Are they a potential MBL Season 24 Super Bowl contender?
Absolutely. I look for these guys to only lose 1 more game. I think they're going to win at least 13 games, possibly 14. They are definitely a hot team. The only one that I think they're going to run into in the AFC is the Chiefs, so I definitely think they're a contender for the Super Bowl.
You got to look out for Wesley Britton for the Rams, the Los Angeles Rams. Is this guy the real deal? He was a first-round pick, about mid-first round, only 5'11", 197 from Nebraska, but he had 1,100 yards his first year with 8 touchdowns, already leading the league this year with 1,000 yards. Still, we got 6 games left to go. Is he the real deal? Is he the next coming of an elite wide receiver in the NBL?
Yeah, I think he is, and he is only being helped out by Russell Wilson. Once he came down to Los Angeles and the Rams, those two hooked up, started getting things going, and Britton is playing phenomenal football. He is also one to look out for.
So any team in the power rankings that you see right now on Nate Silver's power rankings, a couple teams are left off. Which team do you think that was left off should be in those power rankings? We got some guys looking from the outside right now that think they should be in, especially in that AFC East.
AFC East, I'm not sure that any of those teams belong in the power rankings.
Oh!
I don't think any of them do. I mean, right now they're all playing sloppy football. I'm not sure that any of them deserve to be a top 10 power ranking team.
I thought we almost stumped Lipp as he finishes with a couple seconds left. Lipp, you almost got stumped on that last question. A little confused how I throw AFC East in the top 10 power rankings. Definitely not a normal conversation. I think we almost stumped Lipp a little bit on his 2-minute drill.
We were close, but still have not succeeded because that division's a mess. There's no one that I could put there. I looked at that and I thought, why is this a question? Because it's completely irrelevant. Completely.
Wow, those are some tough shots, guys. I want to give a shout out right now to Lipp on the 2-minute drill. He's been doing this about, this is our 18th episode. I think we picked it up about, we start from the beginning with it. I think the episode 3 or 4, so he's done about 15, 14 of them. So, I mean, really, really cool segment we got going on. Moving on, Director's Cut coming out tomorrow. Going to be a great episode. OSU, this is the first episode of the show. It's been long talked about for like the last month. He's been putting it together for the last 2 months. It's going to be probably a monthly kind of show. It's going to tie in the entire direction of the network, where we're going, where we're looking to go. We got EA Play coming up next, so that's definitely where he's going to be going. So you're going to get a lot of information about EA Play on the Director's Cut. Also, some EA Play videos are going to come out separately on their own, and we're going to be posting them on here, probably into a playlist called EA Play 2017. Really going to be interesting. We got Project Fat coming from the Grid, MBL Hall of Famer, as well as OSU and Unisolated. I think Unisolated is going to be handling the camera, though, while he's there. So he's going to be doing some camera work. He's going to be the fill-in for Delvar behind the scenes, pulling the strings. So we really appreciate him going. A lot of cool things we're going to be giving out an MBL Network controller. So we got those cool things going on EA Play. And the Director's Cut is going to tell you our vision for why we're going. What we're doing, the vision for the network. So, Lipp, anything, when I told you about the show, we discussed it obviously first, but we started talking about it once we stopped talking to OSU, and we just got together and we were like, this is going to be really cool.
Yeah, I think it's exciting because the big thing is, you and I see a lot of the stuff. OSU obviously sees everything that goes on. So for all the guys out there that maybe not part of the network, maybe not involved in every aspect of the network, it's going to be really awesome for you to see what's going on, how things get done, the things that are considered. I think it's going to be very interesting for you to see the inside of the network and how it goes on. And OSU is going to, knock it out of the park. Guy has a lot of passion, going to put a lot of work into it, and I'm extremely excited to watch it myself.
Yeah, when I think of OSU, I think of, just highly talented guy in the network. Now he's our network director as of, I think, 3 or 4 months ago. What he's done with the MBL Live broadcast, he's made them consistent for y'all. That was all his doing, man. This is his show. He's running it, man. Me and Lipp, we just step aside and watch it when he comes to us if he's got any ideas or he wants to run something by us. But this is his baby, and he's basically taking it over, and he's done so great. I think he started when we had 42 MBL Live broadcast episodes, Lipp. We're up to 91 now, and he's done that in 2.5, 3 seasons. So we've been able to put out 40 shows, live broadcast with him behind the booth, so he's not only giving us an opportunity to increase our output, but he's contributing to the output with some hands-on stuff. So we really appreciate what he's doing, and I'm really excited for the show. Definitely got to have some questions, man. I hope there's an opportunity to ask some questions about certain things for y'all. Y'all can see where the network's going and what we're trying to do next. We got some big plans also coming up for EA Access. That's a time, Lipp, where we can really make some moves as a league. We're going to be looking to do some things live on the air and do some really long live streams. We're talking 12 hours, 16 hours.
Streams. We're
going to be throwing Lipp on the mic, dude, giving us a little breather. And we're going to be doing some streams like that. Maybe, I don't want to give too much away. I'm going to let him do that. I got a big mouth, man. I'm going to end up saying something I'm not supposed to say, and he's going to chew me out. So I'm going to cut off right there. But we got some big things for EA Access. Remember, PS4 does not have access to Madden 18 at this time. We will. So we'll have a week, and we got 32 people. That means we have the amount of hours for 16 people if everybody's playing each other. We also have the grid, so it ups our ability to live stream a copious amount of hours. So it's going to be really interesting moving forward. Now, that's going to be the Director's Cut. It should air tomorrow. It should have some cool stuff and give you some information about upcoming episodes as well. This is going to be the initial thing for him. So moving forward, we got to talk about the Kansas City Chiefs. This was not an original topic on this show, Lipp, and I don't know why. I went to Delvar and I said, hey, man, we got to get these Chiefs on here. And he said, I know, man, they're undefeated right now. They haven't lost last year. They've won 20 regular season games in a row. This is the Kansas City Chiefs, currently 11-0 in NBL season 24. Lipp, we bashed this guy for the selections that he made in the free agency and how much he paid Jalen Ramsey coming from Jacksonville. We said, this offensive coordinator wanted him, the head coach wanted him, the owner wanted him. I said, man, those are 3 guys right there that need to get, their brain checked, man. They're going to pay this guy that much money for a cornerback? They already got Marcus Peters. But, man, it sure is paying off for Kansas City. This team has really found their own and just came into a play style that's unique to NBL right now.
Yeah, they really play the long drive offense and solid defense, and they're doing it extremely well. You talk about that Jalen Ramsey contract. a lot of people, like you said, turned their heads at that. They were very confused and very worried about the future of the Chiefs after that deal was done. But fourth in passing yards, 11-0 right now, just playing absolutely the best football right now. This is a team that, and even people said it in the past couple of days, haven't really said that they're high on the radar. But just recently they're coming out and people are realizing they're 11-0 and they are playing absolutely phenomenal football in the MBL right now.
Big shout out to our mods in the chat right now. We got Porter and Deca Dog. We got the MBL, it's not MBL. It's obviously Commissioner Corner podcast, our 3 and Out game show coming up. And I don't mean to cut you off, Lipp. I actually want to talk about Kansas City Chiefs because I thought their schedule was a little weak coming in. But now I'm looking back on it, and the 33-0 victory versus the Pittsburgh Steelers, the championship Pittsburgh Steelers, the pedigree unlike any other this Madden Pittsburgh Steelers, kind of like it almost solidified this team to me. They just beat the New York Giants, who I thought I was high on, but I didn't think they were going to win their division. So I thought, okay, 31-10, okay, it is what it is. Then what he does against the Pittsburgh Steelers, now I'm starting to turn my head at this team, and I'm going, okay. And then week 1 versus the Texans is starting to seem less like a fluke. So they beat a 7-3 Texans team, held them to 12 points. The Giants, a 7-3 team, held them to 10. The 7-4 Pittsburgh Steelers shut them out with 0. They got the Bengals next week, then the Redskins. So their schedule, and then the Raiders after that, is tough right now. So we're going to see what kind of team this is.
They also shut down the Raiders in week 3, and that's an 8-3 team. Very good team in that division as well.
Week 3, I'm showing 31-24. I don't see a shutdown, but they beat them.
A shutdown is beating the Raiders.
Oh, a shutdown. You didn't mean a shutout.
No. I'm saying stopping that team that plays a similar way, not a shutout, a shutdown of that team because they play a similar style. Run the ball, play good defense, and the Chiefs were able to put up 31 points on them.
Yeah, they can score. They are okay. So there's 3 teams that I want to talk about before we move on to this topic that play a certain play style in the NBL. 2 of them are in the same division, and the other one's the Washington Redskins. And this is my opinion only. I'm not speaking for Lipp here. But you have the Kansas City Chiefs, the Oakland Raiders, and the Washington Redskins. They all play a similar style brand of NBL football. Very defensive oriented, very ground and pound oriented, very long drive, efficient, dependent on long drives. I think Kansas City might be the best team out of all of them. That's my opinion right now, Lipp. I mean, those 3 teams, would you agree? Very similar styles and very unique, but very similar. I haven't seen this many teams play this style brand of football at the same time in the NBL like I am right now, and I think Chiefs might be the best out of all of them, and I think it probably goes Chiefs, Redskins, Raiders.
Yeah, you're right. They all do play a similar style. I do believe Redskins Chiefs is on NBL Live Week 14. That is going to be I think that could be one of the most interesting games we will ever have on NBL Live. And that's going to tell a lot about how these 2 teams play. And that could be really interesting if those 2 teams could make it to the Super Bowl, because watching them play this week with how similar they play, it's going to be an extremely good game. And for that to be a Super Bowl, that could be unbelievably entertaining.
And I want to big shout out to Timbo. So Timbo basically is running this Kansas City team. He's put his imprint on it, and I had my doubts because the way that I build my team, the way that I've seen other people build their teams for success and trying to win an NBL Super Bowl, what the Chiefs are doing, what the Redskins are doing, and what the Raiders are doing are different. And I think Raiders are probably the most talented 3 years ago to now. But I think the Chiefs have filled in some nice spots, and they're playing as a unit the best. And I think the Redskins probably have the most talent now. But I look at these teams, and I'm thinking, I didn't see it as being a real opportunity to go to the Super Bowl. But now I kind of changed my mind on that a little bit, I guess you could say. And I really feel that, this is a legit strategy, guys. So if you're at the bottom right now, you're looking at a team and you're don't have the best offense. Maybe you don't have a quarterback that you really believe in. You can go this style. I mean, the TM3's been hurt and they haven't missed a beat, Lipp.
Yeah, and I believe that his last appearance was in Week 9. He went down, and this talks about Timbo, how good he can keep a team running with Phil Francis and Jeff Driscoll at quarterback with Trey McIntyre out. Like you said, they haven't missed a beat. They've played very good football, and that is all on Timbo. He's doing such a great job with them.
Yeah, and it goes back to this thing about quarterbacks in these three teams. Now, if you have a team that struggles at quarterback, none of these teams need a quarterback. The Raiders are obviously paying theirs heavily. They're at $22 million for Derek Carr, $23 million. But Riley Rodenhauser was making $675K, Lipp. Obviously saving money there. They got some young wide receivers on rookie contracts. All that money's being flooded back into the defensive side of the ball, which they have four of the best linebackers in the NBL. I think they have the best linebacker core ever assembled in the NBL. I think Gubb needs some praise on that. The offensive coordinator, the GM of that team. Obviously, Gubb is the owner making the final decision. But I think very interesting way to build a team over there, and definitely something that's going to change how I build my team moving forward, because I see success in certain areas that I think could also benefit the Detroit Lions franchise as well. So definitely something to pick on with that. Good luck to the Kansas City Chiefs moving forward. Contender or pretender, Lipp? I'm saying 100% contender, NBL season 24. I expect to see them somewhere in the Super Bowl or fighting to go to the Super Bowl in that final game of the AFC.
Yeah, I can't disagree. I think it's going to come down to the Chiefs and the Titans in the AFC. That's going to be a hell of a game, but I do think that the Chiefs have all areas of football ironed out, playing very well. They're going to be really tough to beat in the AFC.
We should have some music playing in the background right now. I'm going to ask Jack Delbar. We got that music running up and running right now, and everything's sounding good. Everybody in the chat, let me know. Just give me just say thumbs up or thumbs down if you like this music that's playing in the background right now. It should be giving us a little bit of pace and a little bit of beat in the background, kind of a new thing on our live stream. I know the Blitz has been doing it, obviously, when they're not live, but this is our first time trying it live stream, so I hope you guys are enjoying that as well. Delvar put some hard work into that, and by hard work, I mean he added something and, breaks two other things. He went back and fixed that, broke two other things. So here we are at this point, trying to make up for it. I hope it sounds crystal clear, and I hope it looks like 1080, but we're really on 720. That's a story for another day. So moving forward, the biggest rivalry I think in NBL history. Well, okay, I don't want to say NBL history, Lipp. I think I'm over exaggerating, but it is the Commissioner's Corner podcast. This is episode number 18, first of the month. It's June. It's summertime. Feeling good. So let's go ahead and just go with it. This is the best rivalry I think for Madden 17. Now I'm trying to think about it and put it in a way where I don't step on anybody's toes. I just don't see another rivalry top to bottom that's been there. So we got the graphic on the screen right now. It's going to be the New York Jets and the Buffalo Bills. You're probably like, what, the Jets and the Bills? No way, Bomber. Where you get them graphics from? So basically, I'm saying Jets and Bills are the biggest rivalry because of this. This is how the AFC East went since season 19, which was the beginning of Madden 17. It went, and this is against the belief of the Jets guy. Even though he's been proven wrong, there's a lot of delusion in the mind of that owner behind the scenes pulling the strings. Also with Deca Poodle, shout out to him. He didn't believe it as well. But the division actually, when season 19 went to the Jets out of box first year, it won. Then it went Bills, season 20, season 21. And then it went season 22, 23, back-to-back Jets. So Jets, Bills, Jets. So it's about time for the Bills to win, you'd say. But let's look at this graphic real quick. Season 20, obviously that's the furthest we can pull up on our Daddy Leagues profile. And we see a sweep for the Jets. I mean, for the Bills. And they won that division that year in 2021. Be another sweep for the Bills. Got a little closer this season, though. Season 22, still really close, but the Jets edge them out for a sweep. They win the division. Season 23, Jets edge them out again. They win the division. So it's Sweep City in the AFC East, and the person who sweeps wins the division between these two teams. Lipp, do you agree with me when I say this is the biggest rivalry no one's ever heard of in the NBL right now, Madden 17, in this Madden 17 cycle, season 19 to the current season 24?
Absolutely, and with the way the division's laid out, that's got to be the biggest rivalry because there's no one dominant team. Like you've said, they've switched back and forth. But the interesting thing that I want to talk about with the Buffalo Bills, I think the Buffalo Bills could have more of a handle on this. It may not even be a rivalry. They may have the division locked down every year, but they have never really committed to a quarterback. If you look at season 20, they had Tyrod Taylor. Season 21, they went with Matt Ryan. Season 22, they went with a bunch of guys, RG3, Phillip Rivers, and Cardell Jones, and now they actually bring in a guy and commit to him, draft him, Dustin Ely, and he's still young, he's still developing, but they have never had a consistent guy over the span. So I think that has contributed to this, this back and forth, because they are just never consistent at quarterback, the most important position on your team.
And let's look at Gabriel Woodson for the New York Jets. In the years that they've lost the division, he's had QBRs of 89 and 90. When they won the division, he had a QBR of 85 and 68. This is the guy they went out to bring in to win the division. My point being here, it isn't about the passing game with the New York Jets. It might be more about the passing game with the Buffalo Bills, because who they put in that quarterback, Lipp, as you showed, the cascade of quarterback controversies they brought in and out. They're very quarterback dependent as far as their play. But Jets, they can make it happen, man. This is a grind-out team, and if you're slipping, they're going to step up and take the win from you and take the division from you. I think they're really powered by their star halfback, who we did we had it on the feature of the cover of a couple magazines. That's Howard Lockhart. I think that's where they go. He's averaging 4.6 yards per carry this year, 5 touchdowns. I think he's going to be the guy. He averaged 5 per carry last year, and he was 1 yard away from 1,000 yards. 98 attempts last season. That's NBL season 23. 5 yards per carry and 10 touchdowns. Delvar, we couldn't get him another yard to get him to 1,000? I mean, I don't know how you have a running back that you're so high on. You drafted him in the first round 4 seasons ago, NBL season 21, I believe, or 20, from LSU, 6'2", 233 pounds. Late first round pick, supposed to be the guy. Has yet to break 1,000 yards, Lipp, but he does damage, man. 5.1 yards per carry, 4.1 yards per carry, 5 yards per carry, and now 4.6. So definitely a guy that makes this offense go. He's the engine to this offense, and as long as they're top 10 running, they usually are fine. Right now they're 13th. They can need to pick it up just a little bit. But their defense is what they lean on, and they make big plays at the clutch time. So you never can point it. The Jets, you always go, man, how are they there? And then in the playoffs, they win some games. They got 2 playoff wins this year on this Madden cycle. That's pretty impressive, Lipp. There's a lot of teams out there that don't have any playoff wins.
Ooh.
That's a shot at the owner of the Cincinnati Bengals, who's been in the playoffs out of the 5 times, I think 4, and he has 0 playoff wins. So a shot at him as he just blurts out Sonny.
He might have one from back in the day. I'm not sure. I feel like I played him in the second round, but we all know what happened there.
No, not this Madden. Not this Madden cycle.
Not one at all.
Not this Madden cycle. Not since season 19. Maybe a previous. Previous Madden. I mean, he's got the half championship from MBL season 3, so definitely has won a playoff game before, but not recently. And it's what have you done for me lately in the MBL, and that's why I'm looking at this Jets-Bills rivalry. 1 to 10, Lipp. 10 being hottest rivalry in NBL history. Where are we rating this Bills-Jets? Where do you rate it? I'm going to give it a 8.2 because I think it's high, and I think it's a B for sure. I think it's the best thing we got today. I think they've consistently gone back and forth, and that might just be because the lack of depth in that division. We haven't seen anything from Miami, which we might next year under Markov as new ownership. And the Patriots have been, and they're 5-6 right now, arguably having their best season thus far, one of their best, and we're still not talking about them because we know how that story ends.
Yeah.
So where would you give it 1 to 10, 10 being the hottest, before we move on from this topic?
I'd say it's right around an 8. Like you said, there's nobody dominant in this division, so these 2 teams get to battle it out, and the most disappointing team in NBL forever will always be the Patriots. I want them to succeed. They don't. So the Jets and Bills always battling it out. Got to give it a solid 7, solid 8, somewhere in there. Well, I guess that's not solid, but somewhere between a 7 and 8. Very good rivalry. Good owners. Like I said with the Bills, just never committing to a quarterback has kind of held them back, I think.
Yeah, they tried to play a little quarterback carousel, brought in Matt Ryan, brought in Big Ben Roethlisberger, and they just went ahead and went with Ely. They went with their quarterback, their young quarterback. Ben really didn't get the treatment that he deserved in Buffalo. Matt Ryan felt like he didn't either. We've seen veterans go to organizations to be that missing piece and then just mysteriously leave. We saw it in Washington with Aaron Rodgers, which I'm still scratching my head as Aaron Rodgers. We're going to bring into our next topic right now, Jack. Delvar's going to push the graphic over. We're going to talk the downfall of the Chicago Bears, and this is another veteran quarterback. And you like that segue right there, Lipp. That was all natural. That wasn't planned, if you guys were wondering. But Big Ben signed with the Buffalo Bills. Aaron Rodgers went to the Washington Redskins. So 2 big veterans to go there. They both mysteriously just leave. They're both not on the team. Big Ben, I believe, retired right now. and Aaron Rodgers is still playing. But Rodgers went to the Redskins for 1 year. They played very well. They went to the conference finals, lost conference championship in the NFC, lost, and then now he's gone. They got Riley Rodenhauser. They didn't want to pay Aaron Rodgers. He ends up in Detroit, and he has not performed highly. So now the Redskins are looking like a genius as well. I thought they moved on from a quarterback that had a lot left in the tank, and he's having one of his lowest QBRs in NBL history at 80.7, 10 touchdowns, 15 interceptions, 68% completion. He's having a problem getting that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, and that's something strange for Aaron Rodgers. I think we both were very, taken back by the Redskins letting him go. And then whenever the Bears picked him up, we thought that was a very good move for them. But it just hasn't played out. And the craziest thing about all of this is that the Draco defense is not there. It's completely non-existent. And I don't understand how, because we all know that Draco has always had great defenses. But this season, without a quarterback, they can't do anything. And then the defense is not there to back them up like it has been in the past in Chicago. So a lot of questions in Chicago around Draco right now.
Yeah, I want to blame Aaron Rodgers, but I mean, this is a guy that he's only making $3 million. I think he's definitely going to give you more than a $3 million quarterback. He went from making 20 plus in Washington, had another year left. They decided to cut him, and they took the cap penalty hit, and they got rid of Aaron Rodgers. And then he went to Chicago, signed a cheap deal. Maybe a little bit of vendetta against Green Bay. Wants to play against Green Bay, and the division thought they could take it with the Draco defense being so talked about. I mean, it's infamous in the NBL. When you say Draco defense, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But let me tell you these numbers. So close your eyes, Lipp. 13th in points, 20th in yards allowed, 24th in passing yards allowed, 16th in rushing yards allowed. There's no way you open your eyes and you say, that's Draco defense. No, you say, the hell is that? What team is that?
That's a sunny defense.
That's a crappy defense over there. And it's Draco defense, but yet he's still 5-6 right now. Offense still 27th. I mean, so 27th ranked offense, 13th ranked defense. He's 5-6. How is he even winning at this point?
I couldn't tell you, but the wild thing is that I didn't even really notice. Right now, as it sits, he's on the bubble, maybe even in if the playoffs started today. I mean, it's a long way away, but 5-6 is that bubble, 6th wild card spot in the NFC right now. So maybe it's not all bad. Maybe they're happy about their position. But the big huge thing here is the fact that the Draco defense is usually the standard, one of the best. And it is just not there. And I don't know how they've won 5 games with the way that they're playing, especially when you don't have the offense that they thought they would have when they brought in Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, huge disappointment on both sides of the ball. And I'm not going to blame Aaron Rodgers. The next question we'll probably have is, does he have anything left? He's 37 years old. Is this his last year in the NBL? Is he going to finish this Madden 17 cycle out with us? I don't know. If I'm Aaron Rodgers, I'm probably thinking, well, I sure as hell ain't going to do it in Chicago. Get me the heck out of here. This didn't work out. Put me on a team and he's obviously shown he's willing to take a pay cut. $3.66 million for a quarterback like this, coming off $20 million. This might be his last year. Man, he might get another run at it. Who knows? There's teams out there that could use a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers. He definitely isn't going to take a backup role. I don't think. But that's the topic for another day. So what we're going to do right now is move on. So I believe our next topic we got coming up is the toughest divisions. They talked about this on Blitz. MBL Blitz. Make sure you check it out. Hosted by TFA and Chunky. We also have contributions from Gub and Doughboy on that show. Big contributions from Doughboy. Big shout out to those guys. They're also doing some rookie cards for us right now, getting us prepped for the NBL rookie draft. So shout out to Gub and Doughboy on that. I don't want to miss anything, but this is my toughest divisions, Lipp. Take a look at the list. So when I was around, I was like, I want to do these toughest divisions. I saw Blitz did it, and I want to give our input on it and see where I'm at and see where we compare. You guys let me know how close we are to what Blitz said. It's a little bit of a quiz. Make sure y'all watch that show. Lipp, what do you think about my selections right now? I got the AFC. I picked 4 divisions, so half the league. I'd say these are the toughest divisions, the top half. You got the AFC North, you got the AFC South, you got the AFC West, and then you got the NFC East. That's where I got out, and I'll explain why. So give your idea of what divisions you think.
Well, I don't think that you can count. The toughest thing is the teams in these divisions all pretty much play to their divisions. There's a couple, maybe 2 or 3. I think maybe the Rams, the Lions, the Steelers usually run away with the divisions. It used to be the Falcons in the NFC South, but now that division, it's much like the AFC East, where all the teams are kind of close together. They all play each other to the same level and have good games. But I think if I was going to pick the toughest division from each conference, I would have to go with the AFC West and the NFC East, just because I think from the top down, all these teams, anybody can beat anybody, and I mean not just beat them, but be relevant in the playoff picture, be a concern to take the division every year. All 4 teams in each of those divisions have battled it out long and consistent, and are always getting better, and they're always fighting against each other. And the AFC South is also on that come up too. We just saw a big win from Pricey.
Yeah, I got AFC South. I got that at my top, Lipp. I mean, AFC South right now is the hottest division in the MBL.
Yeah, it's the fastest. They went from, kind of not being on the radar to like, boom, all 4 teams are being talked about. All 4 of them are very competitive.
Yeah, and we're talking competitive. So when you say what is the toughest division, now I'm going to ask you guys this. Do y'all think toughest division means the best 2 teams? So if there's 2 teams in there that are really good and the other 2 teams not so much, does that make it really a tough division, or a tough division for one of those 2 teams to win? See, I like to look top to bottom. So if the competition in the division is tight, then I would definitely say that's a tough division. I think the AFC East is a tough division because the Patriots, even though they haven't won, they've been in it twice so far, and this will be the 3rd running. You look at the record right now: 5-5, Bills, Patriots 5-6, Jets 4-5-1, and the Jets play the Bills tonight. So it could get really interesting. All 3 teams could be right there neck and neck with each other, and I think that makes a great division. I think the NFC West has had moments like that as well. Obviously, the Rams have came away on top more times than the others. Excuse me. So all the divisions are close except for maybe the NFC North has been a little out there, and I'd say the AFC North hasn't been that close, but it's been closer on paper than the other divisions have been. The Bengals at least always pretend that they're getting close, but it never comes to fruition. So yeah, definitely my 2 divisions will be the NFC East and the AFC South. That's my two. I think you said the West and the East, right?
Yeah. I think that all those teams are, the one thing, as I quickly learned last night, I would not want to be a part of that AFC West. I mean, that Chiefs team we've talked about, Timbo, that team is, I'm telling you, everybody has completely underrated that team, and Timbo, that is a scary division. Also, Hop and his Raiders are good, and Chunky and the Chargers are also a very good team. Like I said, all those teams are viable to, they can win the division. It just all depends on how they've built their teams and such.
Yeah, so I'm going to challenge the Blitz right now. If there's any guys from the Blitz watching, evaluate our toughest divisions and tell us yours a little more in depth, and tell us why you think this is that way. But NFC East, I think top to bottom, I think even though the Eagles are at the bottom and the Cowboys are at the bottom right now, those 2 teams, you put them in a couple other divisions and they're contending for at the top of those divisions, especially if you look at AFC East and the NFC West. I think you could interchange those guys and they'd be competing in those divisions definitely. And they have in the past competed for the NFC East. So right now it might be a little bit of a down season for the NFC as a whole, and the NFC East obviously is looking a lot less competitive. And the AFC South and AFC West are looking like the 2 hottest divisions in the NBL right now. What are we laughing at?
We're laughing at. I didn't give Porter the love that he felt that he should get for the AFC West. He's calling me out in chat there, saying he won season 20 the division at 11-5. We already talked about this, Porter. You came in and they had like 9 or 10.
Porter, how much love do you want? You won 1 division in a team you took over that was on the highway going 95 downhill. There was nothing you could do to mess that up.
I don't think Timbo was here at that point, was he? Or Hop? I think they came in after that season.
Yeah, definitely. So he was going against a Chiefs owner that was questionable, to say the least, and then Project Fat with the Oakland Raiders. So let's move on from the toughest division. We've given our piece already. it's time to move on in the show. And guys, you're probably wondering, what's up with that game show? Bomber, what's up with that game show? Oh, I think it's coming up next. But first, we got to take care of a little bit of business. Web3cast.com, the leaders in affordable graphic design. If you're looking for something for your Twitter, for your YouTube, for your website, or even you're looking for some intros, you can go to web3cast.com. You can find them on Twitter at allbusiness. It's got affordable pricing for all your creative needs. That's web3cast.com. And the guy who does it is Fred Guerrero. He's a great person and a great creative person on Photoshop. So if you like, I kind of want this, I kind of want that, he's going to give you affordable pricing, and he'll help you out, man. He'll go that extra distance and say, okay, let's try this. What do you think about this? And he doesn't. You don't pay until you're completely satisfied with your project or your graphic or your video. So that's another great thing about working with him. That's web3cast.com. And I'll say it again, affordable pricing for all your creative needs. All right, it's time for the game show, baby. Who's excited for the game show? We're going to have a 3-and-out game show right now. It's 20 questions long, if you make it that far. It's pretty much, I'm going to read the rules right now. Lipp, are you ready for this? I mean, we're going to have Chunky come on this show, so it's gonna be very interesting to see. These questions were all formatted and created by Lipp. The questions are gonna cover the MBL rules, the NFL, and all Madden pertinent information from now until the beginning of time when John Madden was on the cover. So let me read the rules to y'all real quick. Lipp, you got anything to add right now about this show? Excited? I know you're really excited last night when you were in the chat. Pause.
Oh, for sure. I was excited when we started talking about this. We got the ball rolling, got some ideas, and then the way that it came about, I think it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be very exciting for these guys to come in and compete, and everybody's going to get an opportunity to learn a whole lot about MBL and everything else. I'm very excited for this. This is going to be awesome.
Yeah, let everybody know in Grid in the Group Me chat that the Commissioner Corner podcast 3-and-out segment with the 20-question game show with Chunky is about to begin in about 1 to 2 minutes. So, guys, if you can shoot out a message to that, and we'll get everybody in here, and we'll be talking about this. But here goes the rules. Let me get my voice right, clear my throat. Each season length is going to be 6 Commissioner Corner podcast episodes long. That means we're going to do it by seasons. We're going to have a winner at the end of each season. Each episode in Commissioner Corner podcast is going to be 1 episode of, obviously, the 3-and-out. So in Commissioner Corner podcast episode 18 now, so at 23 is going to be the grand finale episode. She'll have our 2 winners, our 2 highest scores come back and compete against each other, and then they go in a boss round against Lipp for a major prize if they can win that. And if they beat Lipp, they go into the, what did we call it? The MBL, the Commissioner Corner podcast Hall of Champions. And that's only if you beat Lipp. You go into the Hall of Champions. So you could win the season and lose to Lipp. You're still going to get a prize, but you won't get into the Commissioner Corner Podcast Hall of Champions, which we will bring up that graphic with your picture and say your score and that you beat Lipp, and it'll be a big deal. And we'll do that every show. So you'll be forever immortalized on this great, high-rated Commissioner Corner Podcast show. But here's how it goes. After 5 episodes are completed, the 6th will be the finale, as I told you. Final 2 battle. 6th episode, the winner gets to test his knowledge against Lipp in a boss level round. I just said that, so I just Hollywood sports that. All right, game rules. You will be given question with 3 multiple choice answers. Your answer must be given within 5 seconds from the completion of the question being asked. If you do not know the answer, you can use 3 lifelines for help. And this is where it got really cool. So you can do the 50-50 lifeline, which is 1 multiple choice answer will be removed, and it makes it a 50-50. So there's 3 potential answers. We'll remove 1 of the wrong answers, and it'll be a 50-50 for you to guess. The next lifeline you can use is ask the chat. You're going to ask the live streaming chat on the network for help, and you have 10 seconds. Once you say, you got 5 seconds to answer. During that 5 seconds, you must answer or say, I'm going to use a lifeline. Use these lifelines once every time, every episode. So you get 3 opportunities to use a lifeline. Once you get to three strikes, you're out. The third lifeline is ask Delvard, ask the MBL executive producer for his thoughts. Man, and he's commonly as wrong as it can be. So that's something that you might want to already know the answer. And if he tells you the answer that you think you know, you're probably wrong and might push you off that. An additional 10 seconds is given to the participant after one of these lifelines is used, so you get 10 answers. Lipp is going to be in charge of the time. Once you hit the time and we don't get a response from you, then it's over. You get a strike. Once you get to 3 strikes, you're out and you're eliminated from the show. The question number that you last answered correctly is going to be your final score. So Lipp, if I've answered 5 questions correctly and I've got 2 strikes, I get my third strike on question 6. My final score is going to be 5, and that's what will be posted. We are going to have a graphic the next show that's going to keep track of everybody who came on and participated in this show. So next week we'll have Chunky with his team logo, San Diego Chargers, and his score on this show for this season, which will be season 1 of the 3 and Out. Excuse me. Next week we actually are going to have our next show. I can tell us our next guest is going to be the network director. Lipp, you didn't know that. So we're going to have the network director coming on for season 1, episode 2
He should know
of our
some
3 and
stuff.
Out. He should know some stuff. The questions need to be harder. These questions are created by Lipp. So you have to beat Lipp right now and get the highest score, and then you play against the final 2 in our 6th episode of the season, which is the season finale. And then you have to, if you win, you get an opportunity to just beat Lipp again. Heads up, where I ask the questions. So it's going to be a really fun and interesting to see your knowledge of Madden, NFL, and MBL. So it's going to be really cool. 20 questions is the max score you could actually receive. That would be a perfect score, meaning you answered all 20 right without getting a strike. You can use lifelines on these. So you could have used all 3 of your lifelines, but you never got a strike, and you would get a score of 20 if you got all the questions right. Is there any questions? We're going to get Chunky on the line right now. So, Delbert, we can put up the other graphic where we get Chunky on the line. It's going to be really interesting right now, guys. Chunky, are you there? I think we got him on the line. Delbar's getting him hooked up right now. Chunky, are you around?
I'm here. I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, man. Dude, are you media trained, bro? Because that's like a media answer.
Hey, MBL.
All right, so we're going to start right now. So after every question, I will pause between questions and set up the next question. But after I ask the question, I will give you 3 potential answers, Chunky. Out of these 3 answers, you must answer within 5 seconds either the correct answer or say you're going to use a lifeline. And when you say you're going to use a lifeline, I'm going to ask you which lifeline do you want to use. Once you determine which lifeline you're going to use, you got 10 seconds after that to give us your final answer. And if you don't, you obviously occur a strike. It's your duty and your job to go to the chat and ask them. So we hope you're dialed in on the MBL Network chat right now. We hope you're paying attention. Because if you ask the chat, you got to go in the chat and ask the chat. That's on you. They should already know what's going on. They should be giving their answer. They're about 6 seconds delayed, so there shouldn't be an issue with that. Chunky, are you ready to start your MBL 3 and Out experience on episode 1, season 1 of this segment? This is a game show, baby. I hope you're hyped and ready.
I'm ready as I'll ever be.
Yeah!
I know he was going to say that.
I was hoping for that. Good job, Chuck. You got a point for that.
Now I'm starting to question how much he really knows about MBL, because that was like an insider thing. I told you,
Yeah.
Lipp.
Yep. I think he knows a lot.
All right, guys, so max he could get is 20, a score of 20. His score will be recorded, and if he finishes in the top 2 out of the 5 that we bring on the show, because remember it's going to be 5 episodes, then the 6th is going to be the finale. The top 2 of the 5 make it to the final show, and the winner of that battles Lipp in the boss level round. So here we go. Question number 1, Chunky. Oh, babe, I got a drum roll. We got the music playing, Delbar. We got everything rolling. Question number 1. Who is the MBL Season 23 Super Bowl champion? One and only? Markov or Bomber?
I'm going to say one and only.
That is correct.
One and only. That is correct. Lipp says that's correct, so we're going to get a point. Your score is now 1. Make sure you're answering those questions. You got 5 seconds. If Lipp says you didn't answer in the 5 seconds, that's automatically a strike. So you want to make sure you get your answers out quick. You got a score of 1, Chunky. Congratulations. Moving on to question number 2. Who is the newest member of the MBL Owners Hall of Fame? N-Train, Sonny, or Bob?
That's Bob.
Correct again.
Is that correct?
That is correct.
Correct again, so that's 2 for him. Moving on, question number 3. Who won the AFC South in Season 23? Star, Doughboy, or Pricey?
Doughboy.
That is correct.
That is correct. That's going to be 3. Question number 4. How many Super Bowls do the NFL New England Patriots have? 5, 3, or 2?
5.
He's on a roll.
He's on a roll. That's 4. Question number 5. Name the 2 original building the franchises in the NBL. Jaguars and Patriots, Jaguars and Texans, Patriots and Dolphins.
Jaguars, Patriots.
Again, correct.
That's correct. Question number 6. They are going to get harder as we go. Question number 6. Who is the all-time NBL leader for rushing yards in a season? Jeremy Hill, TJ Yeldon, or Le'Veon Austin?
Le'Veon Alston.
Oh,
Correct again.
baby. Correct again. He does take the lead. It's going to be Le'Veon Austin. That's 6, so he's got 6. Question number 7, excuse me. Who was the NBL Season 18 most valuable player? Jeremy Hill, Matt Stafford, or Antonio Brown?
Let's go with Matt Stafford.
Incorrect.
Incorrect.
That's going to be a strike. So strike 1 for Chunky. He's still at 6. So his score is still 6 right now. Can't get the perfect score anymore. And here we go. Question number 8. Who was the MBL Member of the Month for January 2017? Josh, Homer, or Doughboy?
Doughboy.
Ooh, incorrect. And a second one in a row.
And that's 2 in a row. Mind you, you have 2 lifelines right now. Your score is still 6. You have 2 strikes. The next strike, you're eliminated from the show. Your lifelines are 50-50. We'll eliminate one of the incorrect answers. You also have to ask Delvar. Should be probably close to last on your list. Your next one is Ask the Chat, which could be beneficial and useful to buy you a couple more seconds if you're feeling pressure. So we're on question number 9. Your score is still 6. Name at least one winner of the MBL Achievement and Media Excellence Award. Lipp, OSU, or Sonny?
OSU.
That was correct.
That was correct. The man's
And-
choosing not to use a lifeline, guys. Kind of a risky thing. Maybe saving him for later.
Hey, that was an easy one there because both OSU and Sonny have won that. So as long as you didn't pick me, you got that one correct.
All right, so he's got 2 strikes. His score is actually 8 right now. We're moving on to question number... Is his score 8 or 7? It's 7, excuse me.
7.
His score is actually 7 right now. We're moving on to question number 10. When was the last MBL Tonight released? April 4th, 2017. May 15th, 2017. March 22nd, 2017.
I'm going to use a lifeline.
Oh, he's going to use a lifeline. Which lifeline would you like to use?
I want to ask Delvar.
Ooh,
He's going to
here we
ask
go.
Delvar. All right, when I say the 10 seconds begin, Delvar has to give you the answer. I will repeat the question for Delvar. When was the last MBL Tonight released? April 4th, May 15th, March 22nd. You have 10 seconds to give your input, Delvar.
I'm going to go with May 15th.
He goes with Delvar. What's...
Wrong.
And
It
that's
was
incorrect. You've been eliminated.
Delvar,
April
come
4th.
on.
You've been eliminated from the show.
Them.
And how many points did he get? What was the correct number of points?
I do believe 7.
So he scored a score of 7. Thanks for coming on the show, Chunky. We really appreciate it. Couldn't get back past question number 10. And one thing's for sure. The lifeline used on Delvar is now 0-1, meaning he hasn't given anybody a correct answer yet. What is going on? I hate to say I told you so, but I told you so. That was a tough question to throw Delvar's way anyways. He was probably going to Google it. 10 seconds wasn't enough. And here we go. He scores a score of 7. We'll have the ratings, the scoreboard leaders for this show coming up next time. We'll also have OSU coming on, but we need 3 more people. If you want to be on this 3 and Out show, you need to message Lipp. Send all your DMs to Lipp and say, I want to be on the show. We're going to take the 3 best candidates. Send him a message of why you want to be on the show and why you think you'd be good on it. We're looking for entertainment value. We're looking for all kinds of people, but the next one that's going to be on the show is going to be OSU. And we're going to have to move it on. This is the Crossfire segment of the show, this final episode. I thought that would go a little longer, Lipp.
Yeah, but Chunky couldn't get with it, so here we are.
Hey, he missed some ones. He missed every one that I thought he might not know. And I think that's what really hurt him. If you don't know something, take the 50-50, and then it's a 50-50 guess. You know, I probably would have done that on the when the last MBL Tonight was. I didn't know that. It's been a while. So, well, we're gonna move on. 3 and Out is over. MBL Crossfire time. So if we get some segments in the chat, we'll gladly talk about them. If not, we got the NBA Finals coming up in about an hour. So
I'm a big fan, so I'm pumped.
You're a big fan of what?
The NBA Finals.
Oh, you are?
Oh yeah.
How many games are in a regular season NBA game? NBA season. How many games?
82.
Dang, Lipp!
Ah!
How long is these series? They're best of what?
7.
The first round used to be best of what?
5.
Look at Lipp! So you're an undercover NBA fan?
I'm on fire!
He's on Oh, fine. Who's your favorite NBA team? This way he goes, Pittsburgh Penguins.
The 76ers.
Oh, my gosh. That's horrible, man. I'm sorry for you.
Yeah, we're down in the dumps every year, but, we're going to keep grinding. We'll be back. We'll win it next year.
All right, guys, it's the Crossfire segment. Delvar hasn't told me anything in my ear about topics, so if y'all have anything, Jug says Lipp knows his basketball. That's true, man. He actually knows more than I thought, and that was off the top of the head because he sure will spit out an incorrect answer and just act like he knows. So that was pretty good. Who in the NFC could challenge Washington besides Detroit? That's an interesting question. Timbo asking that from atop the AFC right now, looking down on everybody in the AFC. He wants to know in the NFC who else could challenge the Washington Redskins, not naming the Detroit Lions. I don't think the Rams can. I don't think the Saints can. I think it's going to have to come from his own division, which I think the Giants will make the playoffs, obviously, at 7-3. Could the Giants challenge him?
I think the Giants also they're like a baby version of those run game defenses that we've talked about. Very, very, very baby version. So I think that they might have a chance. Those New York Giants might have a chance to play a similar style as the Redskins, and they might have a legitimate shot.
Obviously, the season has progressed a little bit, but the Giants, they beat them week 2, 14-3, and then week 6 they lost 10-7. So one thing this Giants team can do is because their defense is so good, both of these teams, it can be a low-scoring game, and you just need one big play, and that's what creates an upset in the playoffs. If you can hold your opponent down points-wise, you just need a couple things to go your way, and next thing you know, momentum has changed, and it's tough for these teams to keep up because they're not great on the offensive side of the ball. We're getting a couple questions rolling in right now. First team to beat the Chiefs. That's what Pricey is asking. Oh, man, his schedule is so tough coming up, and I don't want to take any shots at Timbo because, honestly, I feel humbled by the way he's played. Because I am a very opinionated person on this show, and I was against the signing of Jalen Ramsey, especially at $27 million. I thought it was ridiculous, and I knew he was the number one corner in the league, and I knew you're pairing him with Marcus Peters, but I just saw a lot of holes on that team, especially on the offensive side. It's worked out well. What can I say? So I don't want to be the guy that says, let's look at the guys that can beat them. But they got the Redskins coming up week 14. That's going to be on MBL Live. So that's the big lights. We're going to see a lot about the Kansas City Chiefs in that game. And then after that, they got the Raiders, and before that, they got the Bengals. I mean, these are all teams that can beat them. And then they got the Jets week 17 that I would not sleep on the New York Jets on a week 17 game. They're the type of team that loses to a team like Cuba and his Dolphins back when he owned them. But then they beat a team like the Chiefs. That's how crazy they are in that team. They got week 16 versus the Broncos. They're going to run over that, dude. That's like the Broncos is like throwing a go-kart on the highway. Porter probably gets this reference very well, but they're basically out of their league, essentially, right now in that division. They're struggling, baby. Probably looking forward to Madden 18, but we definitely love Porter and appreciate everything that he does. But, yeah, I mean, Redskins, week 14, that's my answer. That's from Pricey, too. He asked the question. Big Dog Pricey stepping up and asking some questions.
I'm going to go a little different there. I think that they'll get through the Bengals this week. I think their first loss will come against the Raiders. I think that I think they'll do good against the Redskins. It's a toss-up game. They're both so good, I don't know. But I feel like they're going to get through the Raiders, and then they're going to get through the Redskins, and then they're going to come out on the other side against the Raiders. Maybe a little too high off that previous win against the Redskins, and I think the Raiders will be able to take them down. The Raiders know them, playing in the division, so that might be a game to watch out for them to get their first loss.
All right, we're only going to do about 2 more questions. One of them I see in the chat. Delvar shot me a couple right now. I'm going to just ignore that message. We're going to try to wrap this up. Deca or Bomber, week 15. We're not going to answer that, man. We all know where that's going. The Deca Poodle. Not too worried about that, but here's the interesting one, Lipp. Defensive Rookie of the Year, Devon Hayward or DeMarco Poteet. And I'm a huge DeMarco Poteet fan. I think this guy is the real deal. So where do you see Defensive Rookie of the Year going to?
Oh, for sure, Poteet. He played, so well the other night on MBL Live. Maybe a couple nights ago. He's just playing really well. I don't know if there's anybody else that can really challenge him, so that might be where it goes.
That's New York Giants, DeMarco Poteet, cornerback. First-round pick, rookie from Nebraska, 6'2", 183 pounds. Had a big game in the big lights against New Orleans on NBL Live. He had an interception. So definitely a big-time player. I like this guy a lot. I'm really high on him. I'm not too high. I don't know too much about Devon Hayward, honestly, and I couldn't really give you an honest opinion, but I like DeMarco Poteet. And Eric asked that, and yeah, man, I go with your team with the New York Giants. I like that kid. I think he's a big-time player. Okay, we got one more question. Delvar wants to know. Delvar wants to know who. Man, what, the finals? We already answered that. Do you want to talk about who you think is going to win the finals?
The Pens. There we go.
Oh, there we go.
That's who wins.
What about the Pencils? Maybe they'll win. What kind of league names their team like that? Like, nicknames shouldn't be Pen and Pencil and Marker.
That was a terrible joke. Oh my God.
It was a swing and a miss, man. But you know what?
Show, Delvar. We're done.
You get 3 strikes.
We're out of here.
Delvar, who do you think's gonna win tonight? NBA Finals. Hey man, it's getting a little lengthy. The who? The Jazz? Oh, okay, the Cavs. So he says the Cavs. He takes LeBron James like a fanboy that he is. We don't expect. No, I'm taking the Golden State Warriors, man, just because I don't want to hear Fry's mouth, man. So that's gonna be my reasoning behind it. Yeah, everybody knows. Hey, Sonny spends way too much time photoshopping stuff in the group me. And we got one more question. Who's going to end up with the #1 draft pick in NBL Season 25? Interesting topic as always. We always talk about the same 3 teams. I don't want to give those guys any kind of shine at the bottom, but I'm going to say maybe the Packers or the Dolphins. No, I think the Dolphins are going to win some games. Maybe the Cowboys or the Packers end up with it. You know, the Cowboys, the bot's got a history of getting that #1 pick. Maybe it goes to him. He's gotten lucky with that a couple times, so maybe he gets it. But Green Bay Packers 2-8. I think they'll continue to fight, so they might push themselves out of that. Browns are 3-8, but they're a way better 3-8 team. I see them winning. It could be the Denver Broncos. There's not as many teams at the bottom that I really feel are that bad and really just will lose out. So I don't see the Packers losing out either. So maybe it's the Cowboys. I don't know.
Yeah, that's exactly where I'm going because it was just released this week that Ezekiel Elliott's going to be playing a backup role for a little bit. I know he's got a little injury going on, but if the man's playing, he's got to be on the field. So if that's the philosophy, they may fall down to the #1 pick.
Very interesting, the fall of the Dallas Cowboys. But that's going to do it for episode 18. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Chunky scored a score of what, Lipp? 7?
7.
A score of 7 on the first MBL Commissioner Corner podcast 3-and-out game show. Next time, which is going to be a week from now, in 2 weeks, it's a bi-weekly show, obviously. We're going to have OSU come on, the network director. It's going to be tough, man. He knows a lot of NBL stuff. I think he'll score better than 7. We'll probably ask the guys what's the chance of him scoring better than 7 and putting him in that #1 spot, but we'll have the updated scorecard with Chunky score on it then as well. We appreciate you guys tuning in, and for me and my co-host Lipp, along with behind the scenes pulling the strings Delvar, the Cavs fan, we'd like to say good night. Enjoy the NBA Finals tonight. I hope it's a competitive game, but I hope the Warriors come out on top, because if they do, Fry, you're gonna be in trouble, Papa. You're gonna have a lot of DMs coming your way. I'm gonna slide up in those DMs. I'll be in the main chat tagging you. You better believe that. So better hope your team comes to play tonight. Everybody else in NBL, enjoy the season. NBL Season 24, one more season left. Then we start NBL Season 26 in Madden 18. Can't wait. So you guys have a good night, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.